I've been accused of many things in my 25-year career as an automotive critic, but one of them, not liking the Toyota Sienna, well, I've never been accused of that. In fact, in my longish now career, I've driven every generation of the Toyota Sienna, and well, admittedly, this most recent fourth generation Sienna is, well, it's my favorite. I mean, now as a father of two, a pragmatic, mature man that I've become, there's just something absolutely appealing about this entire package. That is the Toyota Sienna. Now, in our comparison test, I am aware that we did award the #1 spot to the Honda Odyssey. Now, if you listen to it, I know the audio was pretty bad, but if you listen to it to its conclusion to the end, I do slip in the fact that this is still my favorite minivan. Which is why I have it again. I apparently can't get enough of the Toyota Sienna. In fact, not that long ago, I was kind of toying with the idea of buying one because I like it so much and because I'm now a mature, responsible adult and a father and but I didn't. So yeah, I booked it again. This time, instead of having a fully loaded, nearly $60,000 limited, I have a basic LE front-wheel drive version for the 2022 model year. I was ecstatic at the fact that I finally get to drive, well, essentially the poverty spec of the Sienna. But the thing is, now about 4.5, 5 days into driving the poverty spec, 2022 Toyota Sienna LE front-wheel drive, I realize that Toyota has pushed us into buying something that maybe is a little bit more expensive than we'd like to spend, but they've packaged this van in such a way as to make it impossible, at least in my opinion, to buy this. Now in the following video, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about various versions and equipment on the Sienna and essentially point out the version you kind of have to buy because that's what Toyota wants you to do. Toyota Canada, mind you, which I won't complain about. I'm just going to give you a little bit more information and I did a little bit of legwork for you, for all 3.5 of you watching the show, because maybe there's a kid out there that, I'm sorry. Anyhow, so we're going to kind of do another walk around, but this time I'm going to point out specific things about the Sienna, the LE, that you might want, that you don't get. And I'm not sure yet if we'll take it for a drive or not. Maybe we will. I do enjoy driving it. So here we go. So as I mentioned, this is a 2022 Toyota Sienna LE front-wheel drive. In Canada, pricing starts at $41,050 in Canada. Just want to make that absolutely clear. It's well equipped, I have to say. So we're going to go straight to the inside. I mean, it's got all the convenience features that Toyota has now included in this fourth generation Sienna, including this great bin down here, the bridge, the cup holders, this great bin over here. Standard equipment also includes this 9-inch display up here, which is nice. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You get heated seats. Yes, something I really enjoy. You also get a heated steering wheel. Unfortunately, and I don't know exactly why, but it only heats up the leather portion of the steering wheel. Kind of cheap, a little bit upsetting, but whatever. I guess I'll deal with it. You get a power driver's seat. And, you know, I mean, the level of features is pretty damn good. One of the best things about the Sienna, as standard, are the power sliding doors, which, I mean, once you go with power sliding doors on the side, you can't do without. Now, the LE is an 8-seater configuration. There's your 8th spot, I suppose. And now, I mean, look, the seats slide 4.5. You got all the space you could ever possibly hope to want. It's just all there. This one, this LE front-wheel drive, though, has one critical fault. And this is the whole premise of this video. This is only front-wheel drive. In Canada, you gotta go all-wheel drive. That's it. That's all. There's no option. Well, there is an option to get all-wheel drive, and in Canada, it's only $1,840 more. The thing with this electric motor is that, well, you get all-wheel drive, and there are no downsides to it whatsoever. So the total for LE all-wheel drive is $42,890. $42,890. So if you take that amount for a second and think about the only other minivan with all-wheel drive, the Pacifica all-wheel drive, the least expensive Pacifica all-wheel drive is retail about $10,000 more. There is no comparison. The thing, though, with the LE is that Toyota has excluded a number of features that you just can't do without. Okay, I'm spoiled, I know, but even my own little tiny, inexpensive, compact Golf has a few features that this thing doesn't have. One of them, I'm going to mention it right now, is intelligent key, smart key. Meaning that my Golf, when I do this, the door unlocks. The Sienna LE does not have that, which is fine, no, it's not fine, not even remotely fine. There's another feature too that you might really want with the Sienna LE, or with the Sienna or any vehicle. That's a power hatch. This does not have a power hatch. So now let's keep going with the idea of all-wheel drive. If you do get all-wheel drive, it has no impact whatsoever on interior storage. So behind the third row of seats, you still get 949 liters of boot space. Behind the second row, as you see right here, you still get 2,129 liters of boot space. You pay $1,800, but you get all-wheel drive. The thing is, all-wheel drive, like I said, this is the real premise of this entire operation right now. This get up, what is it, dog and pony show, is all-wheel drive. So what you would normally do if you want a few extra features is move up to the XLE. XLE is $44,050, but guess what? Toyota Canada won't let you get the second electric motor or the rear-mounted electric motor to get all-wheel drive. No, you have to step up to the XSE, which can be fitted with all-wheel drive. And how much do you have to spend to get an XSE? Because, you know, you want the smart key, you want the power rear hatch, you might be interested in satellite radio, and maybe a little bit more color, well, a few more color options. The LE is available in silver, black, and white. Boring? Can you say boring? The XSE with all-wheel drive, well, at least you get, you know, the option of blue and red. But you have to spend $48,590 to get a few of those features with all-wheel drive. Oh, Toyota Canada, you've got us. Thing is, it's all right, because it's still a little bit cheaper than the Pacifica Hybrid, and you have a lot more features and definitely much better fuel efficiency. Now, here's another kind of silly detail, but if you're a parent, you're going to understand what I'm saying, and that's with the LE. You get cloth seats. Now, I don't know about you, but my kids, well, you know, when they get in and out of their baby seats, it's gonna get messy real fast. And when we go to the cottage this weekend and we go sliding and playing in the snow, it won't be funny. But with the XSE, you also get Softex leather seats. So really, what I'm saying is that unless you're an adult and you want all-wheel drive, then LE all-wheel drive may work, but otherwise, you have no choice but to get an XSE for $48,590 with all-wheel drive. A bit of a scam going on here, I don't know. Anyway, you know what? It's getting cold out here, so I'm gonna take it for a little brief spin. I know how to press buttons. There we go. Alright, so look, I've reviewed the driving experience. Yes, roads may be icy, I know. I've driven this van a couple times, and I mean, pretty early on I realized that the only way to deal with the ECVT and the way the powertrain and drivetrain is set up is by setting the drive mode into eco and living life at a slightly slower pace. But look, there's no real compromise to just enjoying every minute of the kids screaming in the back seat and yelling at each other because, hey, he won't stop touching me, stop talking to me. I'm fine. Really, being a parent is the most wonderful thing ever. You may have noticed on the screen when I was just shooting on the inside of the van that I'm averaging 10.8 liters per 100 kilometers. The main reason for that is that I've been driving a little bit hard, kind of, and the van was idling for like 15 or 20 minutes as I was working my shoots and my angles and all of that. But normally, under normal circumstances, and once I hit the road and I start driving it for real in the next day or so, you can expect to average about 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers in combined driving. And that's real world. I've done it in the summer. And here's another thing about the all-wheel drive. And really, all-wheel drive, it's $1,840. There's no boot space loss. There is, okay, the only penalties, if you can call them that, are that it adds about 175 pounds to the total weight of the vehicle. 175 pounds, which isn't much when you consider the overall weight of the minivan. The other slight downside is that your fuel consumption average will go up to about 6.7 liters per 100 kilometers in combined driving. The reality is that there is no difference between the two. If anything, now this is the interesting thing, if anything, although the 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine and the hybrid powertrain and all that, front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive only in the sense that there's no change between the two, only produce 245 horsepower. With the all-wheel drive, the extra rear electric motor, throttle response and get up and go from a stop seems a little bit more spirited, I guess it's not faster really. It just feels like you're getting pushed gently a little bit more. The bottom line, and this is it, the better version of the Sienna for Canada is the XSE all-wheel drive. Now, should Toyota Canada decide at one point to, allow us to get an XLE with all-wheel drive, then that would definitely be the better version, at least in my opinion. In the past, I've reviewed the Limited, which is $59,000 and change. Essentially, you get chrome wheels and a few other things which you really don't need in a minivan when you're hauling around family and gear and going on Costco runs. So that's it. XSE all-wheel drive. It doesn't matter. Just the Sienna is a really, really good minivan. It's efficient and it kind of looks good too. That's it. I'm done.